Thank you for joining me for today's and this week's Tuesday Tip at 2. Listen, I wanted to quickly come on and just talk about the real estate market a little bit, okay? Give kind of a housing market forecast or real estate forecast. Of course, as we know, the housing market is crazy. That's what everybody keeps saying. But what does that mean? What does it mean exactly that the housing market is crazy? All right, well, let's talk about it. Number one, when you're talking about the housing market, the housing market can be either three things, right? So the housing market can either be a buyer's market, a seller's market, or just a balanced market, right? So you may, hear, especially over the years, it's a housing market, it's a seller's market, or it's just regular. You know what I mean? It's very even. There is and so I'm gonna just explain what that means. So pretty much having just an even market, regular market, is when you have the balance of buyers compared to inventory, right? Neither is outweighing the other. There's a balanced, amount of inventory out there compared to a balanced number of buyers. If you go to put in an offer for a house as a buyer, you might you might compete with no one. Well, not no one, but you might just have, a couple people competing on the offer. But that's not with every house, right? The typical for, having a house be sold within 30 days is, is a good thing, right? So it's like, wow, that's so fast, right? But if we go to like today's seller's market, a house sitting on the market for 14 days, it's like, what's wrong with it? Because in a seller's market, there is more inventory than there are buyers. I'm sorry, there is little inventory to buyers, right? So there are more buyers than there are houses, essentially. So it's that whole, supply and demand, right? So when there is little supply, or when there is a lot of demand and little supply, of course, the amount of money increases. And so that's what's happening today, right? People are going in, putting in money for houses, putting down offers, and their offer is not getting accepted, right? Even if they go in at the list price. And so oftentimes what we're seeing in this market is that you have to go above the list price, not only above, but 10, 15, 20, 40, 50, 60,000 dollars, depending on the price point and how much money you have, of course, above list price. So we're in a market where it's definitely a seller's market. It's definitely, for a seller, it's a great time to sell, because there are a lot of buyers out here who are looking for a home, right? And there's not enough inventory. As far as the buyer's market, of course, that means there's more inventory than there are, people to purchase it. So those are the times where, okay, let's buy up all the property, because then you can, that's the time where you can negotiate and go below asking and, give low ball offers that might win because houses are sitting on the market 30, 60, 90, 120 days, and people want to move the inventory, right? So those are kind of the examples of the three types of housing markets, right? And so right now, as of late, there has been a trend as far as more inventory coming onto the market, which is a good thing. Also, I've heard from a mortgage friend that as far as new applications for buyers, that has been slowing down, right? What was once everybody, calling, new buyers continually calling every 2 minutes to want to buy something or get pre-approved, that is starting to slow down a bit, right? And so what that, says to me is, that we'll start to kind of begin to see more of a balance, right? Like I said, we're in a seller's market, so there are an influx of buyers. But if we start to kind of get less buyers and then more inventory, it'll kind of help, help balance the scales, where we can get into a more normal, if you will, market, where there's more of an equal amount of buyers to inventory. A lot of people had talked about, a lot of buyers, I would say, and some even professionals have said that, oh, it's going to be like '07 and '08 and all that other stuff. And honestly, I would, buck against that idea, only because what was happening during that time is high interest rates. If you breathed, you could get a mortgage, right? You didn't have to show proof of income. You didn't have to do all the guidelines that are in place to get you through, to run number one, get you pre-approved, to get you through the underwriting process and everything. The guidelines that are have been put into place since that time are ironclad, if you will. It very much ensures that the housing market have some sort of stability, right? So I don't think we would, I don't see us slipping back into something that huge. You might see some foreclosures pop up or something like that. You might see some need, to buy, but I don't think it'll get to the point where it was those years ago. I really think that we're going to see more of a balance. And I really think that interest rate will start to climb a little bit, but not astronomically. So that is pretty much mostly what I wanted to say. I really feel as though there's going to be a balance. Like I said, there's more inventory coming as far as listings. Buyers either are holding out, as far as new buyers, should I say, are holding out buying because, of all the stuff that they hear about the housing market, or with their friends, and family who are trying to buy, and how competitive it is. So I really think we're going to start to see the scales balance as it pertains to the housing market. So listen, if you're out here and you're a buyer, you're already pre-approved and you're looking and and you're striking out, listen, hold on to hope. Hold on to faith that it'll balance out eventually. If you are one who, paid, went significantly over for your property, I would say that I don't believe that we're going to have a housing market that takes some significant dip, especially within the next 5 years. So I'm sure that your home will appreciate, because that's what real estate does, even if it takes it a minute to appreciate. Appreciate. But I do feel as though that we're just going to continue to see an uptick, and then it's going to kind of balance out. You know what I'm saying? It's going to balance out. So that is my real estate forecast. I wanted to start, doing stuff like that, like this, as far as kind of giving, a projection where I feel the market is going, and gives you guys an idea to feel, confident in buying or selling your home. Okay, so especially with it being the last half of the year. So I hope that helps you guys. Listen, if you or anybody you know needs this information, please be sure to go to like, to share, and subscribe. That's what I want to say. Like, share, and subscribe. Please comment if you need this information, it's helpful to you, and all that good stuff. If you are looking to buy or sell your home, you want to get in on this market, then listen, it's still a great time to do real estate. Interest rates are still low if you're a buyer, and as a seller, people are still looking. Okay, so you can go to book.djmrealty.co.com to schedule your consultation so we can get you started. Okay, so listen, thank you guys for joining me today. Sorry for my tardiness. And sorry if I'm glitchy today. But, listen, technology, sometimes it just does exactly what it wants to do with no apologies. So it is what it is. But anyhow, remember that there is no place like home. There is no place like home buying. And I will talk to you guys next week on another episode of Tuesday Ticker. Bye bye.